Hey guys, Darkovika here. So, this is going to be a little bit different. I have some news that is particularly devastating to me, possibly not so devastating to you, I don't know. Long story short, I recorded all of episode 2 of Starshine Legacy, where you play as Linda, who is one of my favorite characters, and I did it all in about an hour and a half. It took that long, frankly, because of game breaking bugs and also a major issue with the final race of the game where I genuinely don't know what I was doing wrong. I did the exact same thing basically every single time and then just continued to lose. And there was also a bug where you have to beat the race in under a minute 20, and if you are in a minute 19, it doesn't count as a win. So there were two times when I should have won the race and didn't. And so it was just exceptionally frustrating. And it was like, I don't know, like, the jumps, because it was a jumping race, which I've mentioned in the previous episode briefly, or the previous videos briefly, that jumping is like the hardest thing for me to do in Starstable. And I mean, I wouldn't say that it's like really bad. It's just that it looks very simple, and for whatever reason, I just have really bad timing with jumping in Starstable. Well, it turns out that I have really bad jumping in Starshine Legacy Episode 2 as well. So I don't know why I ended up winning in the end. I watched someone play the game, and I could not see a pattern. Like, I watched someone else do that race. She lost the first time, and then the second time, I don't know how she won, and I don't know what she did differently than me. It only took her 2 tries. It took me, I don't know exactly how long, I have to go look at the video, but it took me probably 10 minutes, like 10 to 15 minutes, and it's not a long race. Possibly 20 minutes. It was very long. So when I finished recording all of this, finally, and it was such a relief, and I remember sitting there and I was even saying, like, I'm so glad I never have to do this again. Like, I loved the episode. The story in the episode was phenomenal. It was so good. I really loved it. It's probably going to be up there. It might be my favorite episode, except for the game-breaking bugs. There was another issue where in like a dam part, the horse doesn't move at the beginning, so I had to refresh. I ended up restarting that episode several times, and there is an unskippable cutscene at the beginning of the dam episode. That was not a swear. The episode is called The Dam. It's literally a dam, that stops water. I'm not swearing. Anyways, so yeah, the horse doesn't move, so I had to restart several times, and then finally I didn't refresh it, but like I killed the game. I didn't kill it. I exited the game and then restarted the game, and then that time, for whatever reason, it worked. It wasn't something that I did that I think is like, yeah, for sure this is how you fix it. Like, I don't know. Excuse me. And so yeah, there were a lot of game breaking bugs in this one. At one point, half of the map disappeared. That was fun. I fell through the floor a couple times. I got lost in one race. It was very good. But the story itself, okay. I didn't explain what actually happened. So after all of this, my microphone apparently got disabled, and I just didn't know. I have an issue where I get very complacent when things continuously go right, and then the second that I stop double checking everything is when it immediately goes wrong. So like, I can do like 100 videos where everything is completely fine and I do everything exactly the same, and then all of a sudden, boom, everything explodes and goes wrong. And that's basically what happened here. I did everything exactly the same as I always do, opened up OBS, did my usual work, and then didn't check that the actual sound lines were going up the way that I'm watching them right now in Audacity. And so what I didn't know is that for the entire hour and a half that I recorded, there is no audio of my voice. So you can imagine how devastated I am. And I genuinely, I don't think I can go back and redo that episode. Despite the fact that I really liked it and I really like Linda, I can't go back and redo this episode. So I'm just going to have to tell you guys what happened, and I'm just going to put footage in the background and I'll show you in like a very like sped up version the frustration of the race. Obviously you won't hear me screaming, I don't understand, and you won't hear me saying, why? What mistake? What mistake? Like, literally, I don't know what I did differently. And like at the very end of it, like I wasn't getting mistakes, and I was like, I don't know why I'm not getting mistakes anymore. Because if you hit if you do something wrong, I don't know what I was doing wrong, but if you get a mistake, it adds 10 seconds to the timer, and of course you have to beat the race in under a minute 20 seconds. Well, you basically can only do 3 mistakes. If you do more than 3 mistakes, it's an instant fail. Like, you're just not going to win. So I kept getting 5, even 7 mistakes, and I genuinely don't know what I did differently. But anyways, that's not important anymore. Let's talk about the story. So we start the game as Linda, and she is kind of like a yes man type of character who's a people pleaser. She's afraid to stand up for herself. And so the beginning, the very first episode is her kind of desperately wishing she could leave school and go to the stables and take care of her horse Meteor. And this that teacher, Mrs. Graham, keeps stopping her to make her do more stuff. So she has to go print the the school magazine all on her own with no help, and she has to go get the janitor, and she has to interview her friends, Lisa and Anne and Alex. And let me remember. Anne is very full of herself when you interview her. Bless her heart. I love her to death. You can tell she's a nice person. She's just also kind of like a Barbie queen. So she's just kind of like, I'm really amazing, and my good looks and charming personality mean I should be a model. And then Lisa is just kind of like, hey, yeah, I moved here and I live with my dad. And then Alex is like, I like to be a mechanic and I live in the poor sector of Jorvik, and my baby brother is the center of my world. And then you finally go to the stables and you talk to Herman, and so one of the big parts of the plot is that Linda has to do a essay about like the history of Jorvik or something, and all of the teachers are looking forward to it, and she discovers a place called Pine Hill Mansion, and she then also discovers in a photograph that Pine Hill Mansion has Mr. Sands there, which is the guy from the last several videos, the evil bad guy who apparently lives forever. So when you go, when she sees that, she's like, hey, I should probably look into Pine Hill Mansion. So she goes and talks to the dude who's in charge of the stables, which is Herman, and she's like, hey, do you know anything about Pine Hill Mansion? And he's like, oh my god, you should never go there. And then so you go take care of your horse, and then you talk to Lisa, and Lisa's all like, hey, we should totally go check out Pine Hill Mansion because kids. And then you're like, yeah, we should totally go check out Pine Hill Mansion. It's got to have some clues about all the weird stuff that's been happening. And then so you get to Pine Hill Mansion, and then bada bing, bada boom, Meteor suddenly is talking to you. And it's like, whoa, wait, what? Oh, also, Linda has visions of the future, which are very weird. And one of the visions that she suddenly has is that she sees the Jorvik Dam, exploding like a bomb. And so she's very confused about this and doesn't understand. And then Meteor starts talking to her, and she's like, oh my god, my horse is talking to me. And he's like, yeah, I don't get it either. Anyways, so they get to Pine Hill Mansion, and they see Starshine just chilling outside the mansion. And then you go in, and I got lost in a hedge maze for way too long. Like, an unbelievable amount of time was spent in that stupid maze. And the worst part was I had found the way out at the beginning, and I mistook one of the, there was a turn. I thought there was a wall there. So I had the way out at the beginning, and I didn't take it. So, yeah, this whole series for this episode was a nightmare. Anyways, I did find all of the stars except for one. So, I'm just saying. I almost did it. And then it was only because it was in the race, and I didn't want to take away time from the race, because God knows I don't know how I won it in the end. So we go into Pine Hill Mansion, and one of the things that she finds in the mansion is 4 portraits on the walls, and they look suspiciously like Linda, Lisa, Alex, and Anne. And each of the 4 portraits are designed and colored differently. They all have swords on them, but the only one where one of the girls is holding the swords is Alex, and her portrait doesn't have any flowers on it, and she looks very aggressive. Anne has the most flowers on it, and Linda has, I think, the second least amount of flowers, and then Lisa has like the second most flowers, I think. And then so you eventually solve a very, very simple puzzle to get into a room where you discover that there's something hidden in the ocean outside Jorvik, and something to do with the stars. And so there's just something hidden in the ocean that people seem to be looking for. And I think it harkens back to that newspaper article that we read in the last episode, where they were talking about the dude who found a strange creature that he ended up throwing back into the water. So we find Lisa. She's trapped in the greenhouse, not because of anything bad happened to her. It's just that she climbed up some dangerous stairs and they broke, and so she's stuck. So you get a ladder, and then you end up hearing a car outside. So you go outside, and for some reason, Mr. Sands is out there, and he's talking about blowing up the dam and also going and hurting Herman. So you and Lisa have to race back to Herman to try to save his life because for whatever reason, Mr. Sands has just decided that he doesn't like Herman in particular. So you get there, you guys all lock yourself in the stable. And then you and Lisa decide to tell Herman, hey, we can talk to horses. Lisa can heal horses, and I have visions of the future. And Herman's like, whoa, okay, so yeah, that sounds about right. You guys are soul riders. And they're like, what the frick are soul riders? And he's like, don't worry about it. You guys have to save the world tomorrow before the competition, because of course there's a competition. And so in the next part, I had to record this in post because I realized I actually forgot a whole section where there's a blue squirrel. You go and investigate some mysterious ruins, which had some very, very creepy vibes and some very intense music. And you activate a whole bunch of symbols on the floor, and a blue squirrel appears. And I had the best voice for this squirrel, okay? I was like, hello, I'm a squirrel. And well, he didn't really say that. He was more like, yeah, hey, you're the Soul Riders, and you're the one that sees visions, and whatever her name is, Lisa's the one who sees, or can heal people, and the other two, they're gonna have to figure out what they are. And it was a lot better than that because it was in the moment. But anyways, there was a really cute blue squirrel, and it was pretty awesome. And then Lisa figured out where the bomb was at the dam, and then I'm just gonna cut this into the video. Is the part of the story where you're at the dam. And again, it took me a long time to get through this part. It was very jerky. It jittered a lot, and it was a mess. Okay, you find a bunch of codes where you can fix the bomb. I heard the bomb, and I thought the bomb was in an area, and it wasn't. So I spent way too much time in one area looking for it, thinking that I was insane. And I was partly insane because it wasn't there. So I did eventually find the bomb. Also, it turns out Meteor, Linda's horse, really likes food, so he just talks about eating all the time. And then you get over to the bomb, and Linda, in her genius, is able to disarm the bomb all by herself. No mini games involved, so I couldn't possibly screw it up. And then you leave. And then you go to the competition, which I lost royally 18,000 times. And then the game is over. So Linda saves the day by using her future visions to stop a bomb at the dam, which thankfully wasn't guarded by anyone, even though you'd think Mr. Sands would be concerned about one of the soul riders that he knows about disabling the bomb. Also, I talked about the fact that Sabine, the, snooty jerk girl in Starshine, her design was revamped for Starstable, and my god, it is a very different design. Like, if I remember, I will post a picture of Sabine in Starstable, and she looks completely different. So you'll see what I mean, okay? Y'all will see what I mean. But anyways, that is this episode. That is, I'm not going to record it again. Maybe one day. It's just that race was unbelievably hard, and I genuinely don't know why. I don't know what I did differently in the last race to only get 3 mistakes. There are certain gates or fences that I just get mistakes on every single time, and I don't do anything differently, at least according to me. I don't know if they're just like I'm supposed to jump at a different time for those fences. I don't know if there's some weird meta to the different fences in that game, but there are certain fences that I just genuinely cannot succeed at ever. So yeah, this is the video that you get for episode 2. I'm sorry. This really sucks. I'm genuinely so upset right now, but I can't record it again because of the bugs and the race. It was just, I was even going to just record someone else playing it and putting it in my video and obviously crediting them and just reacting to their video and going, yay, we did it. Like, I even did that. I recorded myself doing that because I was so upset, and then I did the race one more time and I won. And of course I didn't have my mic working, and I was like, I'm not doing this again. So yeah, this is all I'm probably going to do, and I will see you guys in the next video, which will probably be the beginning of episode 3 where we play as Anne, because I still really love this series, and like the mystery and this is the worst part, right? The music in the game is so good, and Pine Hill Manor was so exciting, and the mystery behind Pine Hill Manor was so exciting. I was talking about how this was literally my bread and butter, especially when I was a kid, because I thrived off of like supernatural mystery stuff. I mean, I was super into Nancy Drew, which isn't supernatural at all, but like this was my bread and butter. Like I was having a ball despite the bugs, and I was like, you know what? I'm glad that I'm recording this, and I'm glad that I'm getting it on camera. I will say I checked every time that I was recording. I just didn't check that my microphone was actually making sounds and stuff. So I think it was because my microphone is on the second layer and I'm used to it being on the top layer still from all the years of recording on my big master PC. Anyways, I'm making this video longer than it needs to be. There you go. There's episode 2 of Starshine Legacy. Yeah, I'm really bummed. Maybe one day I'll come back and try and record this again, but I don't know about that race. So I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. I'm really sorry that this is it. Yeah. Bye.